Carl Grether.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on, man?
Oh, man. I don't think people realize who Carl is. And I'm going to introduce him as the guy who really got the whole plane idea.
Not
always.
No.
You came up with planes?
It's first, I think, started with Wolf.
Okay, so let's get to the Gonzaga. So I met Carl, Jack, at Gonzaga my freshman year. You just got with the plane.
Yeah.
And
What does that mean, though, just with the plane? So the people
he
know.
helped out support the plane for us to go and charter plane all over the country. And before that, we were going commercial.
You used to get,
It was a great recruiting tool.
I
basically.
one time was on a flight with the team to Alaska, and I was sitting with like you and Matt, and people thought that I was on the team. So
Yeah.
just let people, that's how far the program's come in 15 years.
100%.
Yeah.
And with Carl, it was just, we hit it off right off the bat. And like you said, it's a great recruiting tool. And I've been very appreciative of everything Carl's done for me and with racehorsing and all that type of shit. So it's been cool, man. It's been a great relationship. So thank you for being on the show, Carl. And what made you want to get involved with Gonzaga?
Yeah, where'd you fall in love?
Well, what happened was my daughter came here to school. She wanted out of California, my oldest daughter, Erin. And so she came up here, and we started visiting. And we liked the Zag. We started following. Just got kind of we got some tickets once to a game up here, and we watched it with her. And I actually met Paul Brown, because he was fundraising at the time.
Oh, really?
Fred's brother.
Yeah.
And so then after that, I remember vividly being down at the Pepperdine game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was like 2005 or 6.
Yes, when you were living
when Morrison, when I was living in the Ventura County, California. And so we had got some seats. And you remember Jack McCann?
Yep.
I mean, great guy. So we're asking him, how do you get tickets to a Gonzaga game? I mean, how do you do it? Because it's like impossible.
Right. Sure.
He says, pull out your checkbook. That's what he said.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, well, what kind of car do you drive? And I go,
Excuse
I don't know.
me?
I don't know, a pickup truck, you
Right.
know? And then he looked at me like, there's no way this guy can do this. So that kind of was a challenge right there. And so then after that, I got up here, and then I had another daughter come to school here and kind of fell in love with it. And all the people were great. I mean, you talk about the coaches, you talk about all the fans, and all these people are great people, right? So we just fell in love with it. Kind of became like a second family up here. So that's why we ended up moving up here too.
And then you got even more involved with being on the board of trustees, correct?
Yeah, I did that. They accepted me, and I don't know how well they accepted me. But
You get a plane, you're on the board of trustees.
Not anymore.
Is that okay?
It was just too much work.
Okay.
And I just there's just too many things to do. And
Are those meetings boring? You could be honest with us.
well,
Depends on the topic.
it depends on the topic. Yeah. But a lot of times they can get pretty heated. So you never know, because they dictate the direction of where the school's going and stuff like that. So,
Right.
And
So going back to the plane, when you were, your daughters were going, you were like, hey, let's support these guys.
oh yeah,
Let's get the plane going.
yeah. And I met Steve Hertz too. Steve Hertz, great guy.
Coach.
I actually thought he was the AD. I didn't realize that he was.
I could see that.
He does kind of carry himself
Well,
that way.
he's just kind of
huge
he's
figure.
out there. He's large. He's large. In charge. I mean, you know what and he's a great guy, and I think he has a lot to do with the success. I mean, Mark Few, the program,
Right.
But there's so many support factors. You got Mike Roth, obviously, but Steve Hertz behind the scenes. I mean, he got it. He made it happen. So did Father Spitzer. Father Spitzer,
You're like the third person that we've had in here that's talked about Father Spitzer.
Yeah, people don't realize about Father Spitzer. Father Spitzer was the guy that took all the chances. I mean, when there couldn't be, I mean, I think you had the McCart Phil on the other day, and Phil came up to the plate, but I mean, it was like, how could they do this? And they just kept pressing it, and all these other guys came up to the bat. And I think of myself as like secondary to that first group,
Right.
Because we kind of helped them along when they kind of, they did their thing, and then they needed another boost.
Right.
And so kind of Lori and I were there, and there were a bunch of other people too. I can't name them all.
Yeah.
I don't want to hurt their feet, you know. But there's there's a lot.
Yeah.
Right.
And, you know, and then you got, you know, Pat and Sandy, you know,
Yeah.
they're great. And so they're doing a lot of, the Volkers are doing a lot of stuff for them now. So it's like, there's been a lot of help all the way through, right?
Yeah.
So
I feel like it went from, and Jack, you probably agree on this. It went from going from the Martin to the McCarthy.
Mm-hmm.
That was one big transition right there to where the success is. Then it went from, then we have McCarthy. Now we got a plane.
Yeah. I think the casual fan doesn't understand the difference there between a regular program flying commercial versus chartering. It's totally different deal.
It was recruiting. And then the second phase after the plane was the facilities, right?
Right.
And so then we, you know, when Few needed to do it with the athletic, you know, getting that going, you know, he asked me, I said, hey, can you kind of help? And we did. You know, and then I was glad to do it.
It's funny you mentioned taking chances, because Phil McCarthy actually said that 2 or 3 years into the current run we're on, so like 2002, 2003, they kept making Sweet 16s, and he thought, we have to build something now, because if there's a couple off years, we might miss our opportunity.
Right.
Like, we need to build on this program right now.
Right.
So McCarthy Athletic Center is still a smashing success. At what point did you kind of ask the powers that be, how can I help? Is a plane needed? Or did you have the idea for a plane?
I first started with like baseball, because
Okay.
my first love was baseball. And Steve Hertz was the coach of baseball and I think he just retired, and Mac took over. And so the first thing that we did was some stuff for baseball stadium. You know,
Patterson.
Yeah. And we did that. And then, my situation changed a little bit in 2006 and things like that I don't need to go into.
Right.
But I had some extra money laying around that I wanted to be a part of something. You know, it's like being part of a franchise or whatever. So I kind of feel I still, even though I don't give as much money as I used to, I'm letting other people do that now. So I'm just, I'm glad that we were there when it was necessary, and we still get treated really well.
Well, you were there,
games and stuff.
You guys were there so much that they even named the locker room something special when I was there.
Oh yeah.
The Woody.
The Woody.
How did that? The Woody.
Well,
the Woody is the name of the men's locker room, Jack.
Well, it's not the Woody. It's.
I know it's not the Woody,
but that's what you guys called it.
No,
right?
but that is the Woody. It says
Lawrence Woody Wilson.
Yes.
Right. Outside the locker room.
On the one they just redid, or the
No, this is before the one they redid.
Yeah.
The original.
The
locker
original.
room.
Yeah,
Okay.
in 2010 they updated the locker
with
room,
the
and then
spas
they
and
put it. And then
stuff?
when we
No,
didn't that was after.
I never got the spa treatment.
No,
Yes.
he never got the
So
spa.
they got TVs and shit all in there. I'm like,
That's why he was always hurting during every game.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
he
know.
was-
It's because I was kicking ass and taking names. That's what
right.
it's about.
That's right. I know.
No, it was not a spa when I was there, but it was the Woody. That was the most legendary locker room name I've ever heard. And
Why the Woody?
Well, because it's after my wife's dad was Woody Wilson, and he used to coach basketball in the day. In fact, he also used to coach women's baseball what's
that movie called, Jack? I know
A League of Their Own.
Yeah. Well, he actually coached one of those girls that played on one of those teams.
Oh, get out of here!
Yeah, in the day. So he was always a coach. She remembered him as a coach. She actually went to Mexico with him when she was a kid, because he was coaching a Mexican team in Mexico.
Really?
Basketball. Oh yeah. So we wanted to honor him. He's passed.
Right.
He actually was passed. I never actually met him, but we wanted to, show our respect for him, and that's why we put his name in there. So it was cool.
Right on.
So the Woody.
The Woody, man.
Woody.
Yeah.
And then the best part is he gets all this money. He doesn't like to talk about his money, Jack.
I can tell that. It's funny because that's all I want to talk about.
Well, I've taken a lot of risks too, and
but this is where we're going. This is where I'm switching this all into the risk. Racehorses. That's the risk.
Don't tell my wife. No, I'm just kidding. No, It is a risky thing, though we used to run a lot of horses at the track, and I had a horse that won a grade 1 races, which are the top. That's the top of the deal, right?
Yep.
She won like 3 grade 1s. Her name was Intangaroo.
A filly.
A filly.
How about me and my
She actually won.
I'm impressed.
She actually won on the undercard at the Kentucky Derby one year, the Humana Distaff. And
oh,
we were
right on.
there. So we were there when Big Brown won in 2008.
How many is that before the Kentucky Derby in the list?
That was like 3 races before.
Oh, right on.
Yeah. And that was a really big race. She won that. I ended up selling her as a broodmare prospect that year, the following year.
How did you get into this shit?
Well, my dad was into it, and I started going to the track at Santa Anita when I was 14.
And you just fell for a passion?
Yeah, and I kind of supported myself through college gambling, because I didn't
Get out of here.
a little
Tell
bit.
me more. Tell me whoa.
Just a
That's
little
Jack's way.
I was very selective. I'm not a selective bettor anymore. I don't really bet too much anymore.
So tell me about your process. You grew up going to the track. Your dad was into it. Did your dad own horses?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not until later, but we always used to go my dad and I used to go to the races together. So I'd learned how to handicap in a race. You get a racing form, you handicap, right? Uh-huh. So we started doing that. I took a college loan out and played the races.
What did you do? Did you double the loan? Increase the loan?
No. I took like $3,000 at the time, which was a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was going to Cal Poly Pomona in ag, and so I kind of used that as my stake money, and I kept myself going. Yeah, I made some good bets here and there.
And then it would just...
And I was betting crazy because I am, student, and I'm betting $100, $200 on a race, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
At that time.
I wouldn't even do that now.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to do that now.
What clip were you winning?
Oh, I was doing pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd had some good $1,000 days. And
right on.
So for me, that worked out pretty good.
And then he just said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do my own.
Then my dad and we started doing some breeding together, and then my dad got bigger in it a little bit.
So where is the money come from? Is it from the breeding or the racing?
The breeding's the way to go. I used to do the racing. The racing's it's a garbage pit of money. They eat, you spend money.
Oh yeah.
You can do okay. You can get lucky once in a while, but it's a rich man's passion, and I don't have that passion anymore. I'd rather sell to the rich men.
Right.
And that's what you and I are going to do.
Oh, 100%.
Right? That's what we're doing.
In that sport, how much of it is just the horse itself? How much is the trainer? How much is the jockey?
It's all of them.
Is the jockey like 10%?
It all depends. I mean, there were some really good jockeys in the day, like Pat Valenzuela. You look at them and they're like part of the horse. Then you see some of the other guys, I call them monkeys, because they're just like not part of the,
What?
they're not part of the horse, and they're just whipping and flailing, and they don't have a clue. That's what and so part of that, you can lose links by having a bad jockey, obviously. You can gain links, but the horse is most important. Yeah. And what they're, and how they've been trained properly, because that's one of the biggest problems is training them properly. There's some good trainers and bad trainers, right?
So, go ahead, Jack.
I want to know what a middle of the road jockey makes, what an average jockey makes a year, and how long can they ride?
Oh, 20 some odd year, can't they?
I know, like Mike Smith, he's a friend of ours. He's in his 50s and he's making millions,
Yeah, but that's got to be.
Yeah, that's the rare.
Right.
These guys are, to keep your weight, the average distance of a jockey, maybe 5-10 years if they're lucky.
Yeah.
But I mean, on what circuit? They get their apprenticeship to start. They get so many races and they get so many wins, and they get a weight allowance right before the race. So a lot of times they do really well, but then once they lose the weight allowance, they don't do too well.
What does well mean though?
Well, I mean, if they could, if a guy on the small circuits, if they could make probably 50 to 100,000, they're probably lucky.
Okay, but 50 to 60 grand?
Yeah, probably.
That's not bad for not riding ponies around.
But
for being a little guy, absolutely.
Yeah, they love doing it. It's got to be. It's dangerous. It's all god awful dangerous.
Really?
Think of race car drivers. You think of jockeys. I don't know what the odds are, but it's a dangerous gig. They get hurt in exercise in the mornings.
Oh,
really?
You
don't know. Yeah.
That, and they got it. Isn't like bulimia a big deal with?
Yeah, they flip.
Yeah, what flipping means is vomiting.
Yeah, they flip. Yeah, they do the flipping. So that's big. That's been going on forever. You know, we went to dinner with these jockeys once, and they ate. I couldn't believe how much they ate, and I just knew they.
Oh, it's going right back up somewhere.
Yeah, they had a great time. They drank wine. They did it, and then bam.
Oh, let's go put the finger down the throat.
I think it's just be part of the. It's part of the deal, I guess.
I gotta imagine there's a lot of cocaine in the jockey circles.
There was.
Oh, I'm sure.
There was this one guy named Kenny Black, and he finally it happened to him. They got him, but he was just.
They popped him for blow.
Cocaine. Yeah.
Oh, it's
wait, they get drug tested?
Oh yeah.
That doesn't seem right.
No.
Pat Valenzuela, he was doing the drugs and stuff, and he was one of the top guys. And then he went in for a test. You know what he did?
What?
He completely shaved his whole body, so they couldn't get a hair sample.
Yeah. That's how they do it.
They're doing it that extreme.
Oh,
yeah. I thought they would test the horses. The horses make sense.
Well, but they're checking the jockeys too.
Well,
I don't know why.
That's what I'm asking. That's no enhancer. You're not.
This was years ago. I don't know if they're doing it now.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like it was back in the 80s, but there were some jockeys that were doing it. This guy, I remember once he was riding and he got flipped over the hedge and he got right up and he was like,
all
white. It was this guy Black, he's just like, nothing hurt him,
Yeah,
flying.
Everyone just looks the other way.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
Arms just dangling.
That's Teddy.
Yeah.
He hasn't slept in 35 days.
Yeah.
So when it comes to like the jockeys that you have to pick for the Derby, are you competing for those jockeys?
Oh yeah.
Is it like it's got to be like the top like 25 jockeys?
And a lot of times, one thing about the jockey world that I ran into is there's no, I'm not grabbing the right word, but if you think you had your jockey and he was riding for you the whole time, he'll get off your horse and like that.
Oh, if there's a better offer?
Yes.
Yeah, no,
or
so
a
no
better
loyalty.
horse
you're competing. You're constantly feeding that monster all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're lucky to get, and you're lucky to get the right jockey. And sometimes you got to pay a jockey extra to ride your horse.
What kind of bonus does the jockey get? What kind of incentive is there? Like
we paid one. My dad paid this guy to go to New York, Belmont, to run in the Met Mile once, and he got his 10% of the purse.
Damn,
so the purse
10%?
the purse was $300,000 or something. So you get 60%. The winner gets 60,
right?
And that goes to 25 and 10, like that.
Yeah.
But we had to pay the guy to go back there, Chris McCarron, I think $25,000 just to ride it.
Damn. Hell yeah.
And these guys are just eating steak and
Hell
lobster
yeah.
and steak.
Yeah.
Good for them. Bob Baffert.
Sure.
Do you have a relationship with Bob Baffert?
No.
Okay.
We call him the white-haired devil.
Yeah.
For a reason.
He's the one that
he always wins. Yeah, we were just talking about this before you.
But right now he's getting a bad rap. I guarantee.
You think it's unfair?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Explain
I don't
who he is.
and I'm not a big Bob Baffert fan. Never have been. But what the New York Racing Association did, because they've given no due process to the guy.
Yeah.
They had the test in New York, and my feeling is that he has gotten away with some things, but he has the best horses. He has the best breeding.
Does he keep it in-house?
Yeah, but how can you keep it? Yeah, not on far as the people that work for him is in.
I'm saying his studs and his sires.
No, he's buying outside. He doesn't have anything to do with that.
Really?
He may get a piece of a stallion if the owner gives it to him,
right? And
he'll get a breeding, but he's not. He's just a trainer. He's training tons of the best horses in the world.
For those who don't know, Bob Baffert is like the Bill Belichick of horse racing. He's won like 13 or 14. Am I making that up? Or he's won a ton.
He's won more races than like Lucas, who was the heyday in the 80s and 90s. D. Wayne Lucas, and he's still around. He's still training. He's an amazing man too. I know him. He's a good guy. But Bob is a kind of a guy that you love to hate him. You don't want to.
But you aspire to be on his level, kind of thing.
Exactly. Everybody does.
Right.
But what they did, I think, is they're trying to make make him out to be the bad guy because they're trying to force a lot of these new drug rules and things like that. And the amount of stuff that he got caught with in Kentucky was basically so minuscule. It was like parts per billion that it wouldn't enhance the horse at all.
Okay.
So they're making they're making him out to be the scapegoat. And then in New York, they never found anything. They said you can't run here. So now
At Belmont,
you can't run at New York. New
York,
York,
the state.
decided
That's your
they're not
favorite
run-
state anyway. So
Oh, I love New York. I love to race there. You know, I love to go there. We're going there to the Saratoga at the
really,
end of the month. Yeah, so that'll be a lot of fun.
how much influence, like what would be Bob Baffert's day-to-day input on the, I guess, what am I trying to say? How much does,
what does a trainer
what's his
do?
impact?
What's a trainer do?
He's more of a man. You know what? He's more like a
He's got a
manager.
team.
He's
under
got
him.
a team. It's
Yeah.
like the basketball, right?
right.
He's like the Mark Few, and then he's got all these guys working for him and working. And so the guys that are really doing the training are the guys that are working for him.
So Bob
They
Baffert's making,
report to him.
okay, he's making the big decisions as to
Oh,
what
yeah,
horses
as where
to back.
they're going.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And he probably has a group that says, "Hey, we're gonna race this horse here," because he has so many good ones. He's got to pick his spots all across the country, you know. But most trainers are just like in local, they're in just one area.
He's a big Arizona guy, Bob Baffert. You know,
That's where he's from.
yeah, him
He's a
and
quarter horse guy.
Tommy Lloyd are going to be.
Oh, that's what we
around.
were talking about.
Yeah.
They're excited for Tommy in there.
Oh, I think he's going to do great. You know, he's come from a good program. I mean, I'm sad to miss him, but I'm so proud of him. You know, he's such a good guy.
You knew
know?
Tommy when he was just at the bottom of the totem pole.
Oh yeah, he was not at the bottom.
Well, when I was there,
Yeah.
He was like fourth
he
in
was
line.
fourth.
Well, because was Billy Greer there when you were there?
No,
You got
it
there right
was. I would say just out of no disrespect, it would probably have been Coach Few, Leon,
He's over at Boise
Yep.
State. Yeah.
Leon, then Coach Jack, then
Yeah.
Tommy.
Really?
At that point,
That's not bad. I mean, he was probably like
because
in his mid
Coach
30s.
Jack was a head coach at multiple
Yeah.
schools
Right.
before he had gotten there.
Yeah, I saw Jack Coletti in Indianapolis. He's a great guy.
Oh,
I think he's doing sportscast or something.
doesn't surprise.
don't
Coach
know.
Jack was the man. Coach Jack, the people, he helped me a lot. He helped me a
Good
lot.
guy.
He's-
He worked with the bigs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Bigs
was
guy.
the bigs. His whole thing was being on time. He had this big ass watch. He would always shake and be like, "Time to go. It's Eagle time." Type. You remember Eagle
Yeah.
time? The Eagle time was 15 minutes before practice, no matter what. That was called Eagle time. So we made it Zag time, and he would always. Coach Jack was instrumental for my success. I have to give him credit for that.
Yeah, they've had some really good coaches there and stuff, and it's great. And I was fishing just recently, and I ran into a guy named Tom Van Arsdale. Is that the right name? I think no. Yeah, Van Arsdale.
Uh-huh.
There was two brothers. They played in Indiana, and this guy's in his late 70s. And I asked him. I said, "Have you heard about?" Because he was big at Phoenix. I guess he played there.
Yeah.
But he's a big U of A fan, and they love Tommy. They love him already.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah, he's fit in really well.
I hope. I mean, obviously, there's some big name alumni, namely Gilbert Arenas, who have been vocal
Yeah, I heard about
against the hire. But, you know, I mean, winning's the ultimate deodorant. At the end of the day, he's
coach
going
at
to win.
Stockton? Wasn't he?
Damien Stoudemire.
Yeah, he thought he had it.
Yeah, that was
Right.
what they were all pushing for. Former
They were
player.
pushing,
Yeah.
but you can't push for that because you didn't win. You haven't won anything.
You got to be recruiting too.
Well, I'm just saying
Right.
that you got to win. You got to win your conference tournament before you ask to go to Arizona.
Yeah, and when is Stockton going to win the conference? Yeah. We'll see.
Back to ponies. You say you're out, but it sounds like
Well, I'm
you're-
out of the racing. I
Okay.
have very little racing. I have one at Emerald. That's one I bred because I couldn't sell it.
Okay.
And then basically I've been partners with some people back in Kentucky, and we buy really good brood mares, and we breed them to the best stallions we can find, and then we sell them.
I've got a lot of Kentucky Derby questions, but first, what is the professional relationship you and Rob Sacre are going to have regarding
Oh,
ponies?
we're gonna make some money this
That's
fall.
it?
We'll
Just
see.
make money.
I told him before it's a risk.
Oh,
Okay.
I know.
And he knew it. The thing about Rob is Rob's going to go places. I call him a kid. He's
Yeah, I
not a
am.
kid, but
I am. I know I'm a kid.
Child.
I am a child.
you
My
have to
son
bust
calls
him down
me.
a little bit.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
somebody has to.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
You know,
all the time.
But we're in this one. There's this mare that I've done really had success with, and I said, Rob, do you want to get a part of it? You know, and then we'll breed it and we'll sell the baby, and then we got another one. And I said, listen, there's this sire I really want to breed to, Gun Runner, and he was one of the top He won the Breeders' Club Classic. He won this other big race in Florida.
He had me studying books.
Yeah,
Like he gave me this
Study like
this,
how many?
like this book was thick.
Lots of pictures.
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish I would have known, but it showed each page had a bloodline. Like you could go down and see what these horses had won and all that. And I'm looking, I'm like having to see. So when he was explaining this whole gun runner thing, I was like, yeah, I'm in.
Did you color inside the lines?
Oh, I had to.
Okay.
Everything. I made sure I wasn't outside the lines with this gun runner at all. You crazy.
Yeah. So what you do is there's all these programs that you can, in the computer age, you can plug in breeding possibilities.
Algorithms.
And,
basically.
Oh,
basically.
interesting.
Yeah, and so you put gun runner with this mare because her sire was Tis Now, who was a really big horse, but she was her mother was a full sister to Serena Song. Now Serena Song was a Grade 1 winner herself, so she's going to produce. So that cross came out with a really good rating, like an A+ rating. So we bred that, and I told Rob, okay, I said we want a colt. I mean, you never know what you're going to get, and so guess what we had? Because he's luck.
Right.
We had this beautiful big colt, and I think
November can't come soon enough.
I think the ATM machine's going to be.
I told you we should have called them ATM. That's what
ATM?
That's what I'm hoping. But I think we're going to do okay if the X-rays are good. I was telling him if the X-rays, I'm going back Monday and Tuesday to go check them out and see and make plans. Okay, are we going to sell in November or we as a weanling? Because they're only like 6 months old. You don't have to
a weanling 6 months old.
Yeah. Well, they haven't turned 1 year. All horses turn a year on January 1st.
That's okay.
So, or we'll sell the horses a yearling in September. As long as the horse looks good, has good weight, and the X-rays are, because everybody X-rays things, they check the whole thing out, make sure everything's good.
So where's this horse going to live?
It's in Kentucky right now.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't know where it's going to live when it gets bought. We go to the Keeneland sales in November, and that's where the Bob Bafferts and all these other people, they buy horses. Or they call them pin hookers. Pin hookers.
Horse racing's the best. Wait, what?
Yeah, pin hookers are what they buy horses,
and
then they sell them 6 or 8 months later.
Okay.
Because sometimes they can make 10,
like
25.
flipping a house or something.
Same thing.
Yeah.
It's like flipping a house. Same deal.
Yeah.
These guys are really good. They know how to buy.
They can, and it's a process. It's the whole auction process is crazy.
Oh, it's crazy. We were going to get them out there during COVID. I mean, well, not during COVID. When COVID hit, everything changed.
Well, we were all three of us were going to the Derby.
Yeah.
You didn't know Jack at the time, but Jack was going to be there. We were all set to go.
I know.
I had the tickets and all that. And
we were ready to roll.
Oh,
and we were going to go look at the horses, and do all that stuff, and then bang, this thing happened.
Oh, we don't need to poke that bear with Carl, but
no, don't even start.
Rob mentioned naming it ATM. How important is the name? I imagine a good name goes a long way.
Well, we can't name them yet.
Okay.
You don't sell them until they're people want to name their own horse.
Hell yeah. So that's I would imagine that's half the fun.
That is.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. We'll make sure that whoever buys the horse, they're going to call it
what? ATM.
No.
I wanted ATM. What do you want to call it?
I don't know.
He wants to call it Sacre. He always
Big
wants
Sacre.
He always does
Big
Sacre.
Sacre.
This guy, man, I can't. But
ATM could mean something sexual too. I won't say that on the podcast, but A to mouth.
Oh my!
Brennan's laughing over there. Brennan knew.
Brennan, of course, Jack.
So he bought Kamala Harris into it, right?
Oh my!
No, don't do that.
What is? All right. Family show.
Hey, we're not talking politics.
Yeah, I told you not to poke that bear.
Best horse name you ever encountered or you owned?
Oh.
Bodacious Tatas. No, I didn't name that one, but that's a true story.
Bodacious Tatas.
Yeah, I couldn't believe they got it through because you have to get through a screening.
For names.
Yeah. The best name I ever had was a horse called Sodally Tober. I thought that was cool.
I'm 10 years old. That's great.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And that was a good name. And then my best was the horse that was the Grade 1 winner, the Intangaroo. I love that name because it was really, it was catchy. Yeah, it was catchy.
Fun fact. There was a Derby winner like 100 years ago named Spokane.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Spokane.
So
Yeah.
because we missed out, what is the Derby like?
It's crazy.
Would Rob
It's crazy.
would Rob and I be infield people? Do you recommend the infield? Yeah.
I mean, when it's wet and raining, they're just sliding on the mud.
Yeah.
I mean, people are having
It's
a drunk fest in the infield.
really,
It really is.
it's NASCAR. I heard.
Yeah, it is. It's NASCAR on steroid. I think it's on steroid. It's crazy. It
We're-
really is.
We're
It's
on the wrong
crazy.
side of 30, though. Do you think we're too old for the infield?
No.
Oh,
No,
really?
I would go into the boxes.
Yeah.
That's fun. Now,
Yeah.
what we were lucky to do when our horse won, they take you up to Millionaires Row, they call it.
Mhm.
And it's a private club up there.
Yeah.
So we got to go up there and we had drinks on the house.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it was great.
You don't have to answer this if you don't want to, but I'm curious. That day you won, how big of a payday is that as the owner?
Oh, it's
Can
really
you
good.
Can you give me a ballpark?
Yeah. I mean, it was a $300,000 purse.
Okay, so and you got
And I
60%.
60%. Yeah. But it cost me to get her out. I cost her $10,000 to fly her out.
Okay.
I had the entourage.
Yeah.
That was $25,000 just to get everybody out. Get
Your
the
friends,
seats.
family,
Yeah, the whole thing. But then when she won, her worth was more than that.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's the whole point.
Yeah, and yeah, that was great. Now we also had a really good payday at the windows too. My brother cashed in, and he had toilet paper rolls of hundreds.
All on your horse.
What?
All on your horse.
Yeah, he made more money than I did.
Speaking of ATM,
And then on top of it, we couldn't leave. I mean, how do you get out of there? We didn't have a car.
Right.
We came in a before Uber.
Right.
So they had drivers and stuff. So the guy, I mean, in Churchill Downs, if you ever been to Churchill Downs, it's not a great neighborhood.
Oh, really?
It's not a good
rough.
It's rough. And my brother got on the bus and gave my wife, stuck all the money in her purse. And so we're leaving in this, we're trying to find a ride. So this guy said, I'll give you a ride. And it was a black Suburban or something. So we all 4 or 5 got in it. My brother got on the bus and he goes, hey, did you have a good day? And I said, nah, it was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Yeah,
And I said, how much? He says, to get us downtown, it's just $40. So I gave him a $100 bill and said, hey,
hell
thanks.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I just didn't want him to drive me something, I was worried.
Yeah. That much cash is stressful.
It was
I
stressful.
mean, I
It was
don't
stressful.
know.
It was a lot of money.
Imagine.
Yeah, you're just
You
holding
know?
that cash on you.
Yeah, and she had it. I'm going, whoa,
Oh,
that's crazy.
Jeez.
That was a great day. We had a lot of fun.
And this is what year? This is about 10 years ago?
2008,
Oh, okay. 2008.
And
Kentucky Derby.
Now, has the Derby gotten better or worse?
Oh, they're all the same. I mean, a lot of public figures want to go. There's a lot of that.
I need to bring. I'm gonna have my red. I'll bring the red suit out.
I do want to
yeah.
talk outfits. What were you wearing the day you won?
I just had a blue blazer
Okay.
and a hat. That was it.
Okay.
All the women have to wear the funny hats.
Is that a rule to wear a hat as a woman?
No, there's no rule.
Okay.
I mean, everybody
does. It's just
part of the
rule.
gig.
Part of the gig.
Everybody dresses up. It's fun. I mean, we had during the post parade, before the post parade, some guy goes running through the cops and almost nails my horse. I mean, that's how crazy it is. He goes running through the circle, when they're presenting the horse. It's crazy.
I've heard the Oaks is actually more fun than the Kentucky
Oh, the
Derby
Oaks
on
is
Friday.
great. Oh, the Oaks is always fun.
Okay.
That's my favorite race as a breeder. You want your horse to get there. If you ever had one or you bred one, that's money.
Well, why is that?
Because she's worth a lot of. I mean, if you have a mare that wins a Grade 1 stake or something like that, she's worth over $1 million to $3 million as a brood mare. And then all her babies are going to be worth a ton of money too, if you breed right.
So, and I watched something on, I think it was like HBO or something like that, where they followed this one stud, and it was like $50,000 a stud fee. When they were breeding this horse out 4 to 5 times
a day.
Is it a day?
Oh yeah.
See that?
I don't know if I have 4 or 5 times. But,
You're not a horseman.
but day. So that's every.
Yeah, they have a schedule. So if your mare is ready to be bred, they have 8:15 or 7 in the morning. Then they have noon. and they have 3 o'clock, and then like 7 o'clock.
Does the horse ever complain about like the schedule is just not romantic? You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just gonna go to the numbers part of like, it's like 50 grand
per pop.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys are doing 160 to 200 breedings. So you just do the math.
So each pop is 50 grand.
You pay when the foal is born.
Oh, okay. So there has to be
So
a
let's say
child.
they don't
There
get-
has to be.
Let's say the horse does
Got
not
it.
get bred.
Got it.
You come back a month later and you breed again.
Got it.
You
Got
don't
it.
pay
got
every
it.
time.
Right.
Got it.
but
It's
still,
just
that's on the
live
line.
foal.
That's on the line.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
and so
and you may get nothing. You may get
so if your whole deal is to basically have the stud. You want the stud.
That's
but
the golden
getting
goose.
the stud, getting your mare to be able to go to that stud. The stallion owners are very
particular
particular. They don't want crappy mares. They want good
because you don't want to
stakes
water
producing
down that bloodline.
Exactly. So like with Ustra, the one we
Yep.
bred, she's got really good.
She has great stake winners.
Yeah,
that
she's
Korean stake winner over
yeah,
there.
Yeah, she's done really well that way. So they were okay when we bred Gunrunner because he was in his 3rd year. The 3rd year is the bad year. The first 2 years are really good because you haven't had any runners. So the 3rd year on Gunrunner for the one we've got
Yeah.
is a real gamble, but it's also, if you really believe in the stallion, you may do really well. So and then I texted Rob the other day, and Gunrunner, for his 2-year-olds, he's the top sire.
Right.
So we did a really good
No,
job. I
I'm
mean, we
not
picked the
bitching.
right-
I'm not bitching at all.
No, we did really well on that one, I think.
Yeah.
So I think we'll be good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
But it's so crazy to me. So that's what I'm saying. It's so crazy to me that just if you have that stud, you are basically living for the rest of your life off of that stud fee.
Oh, God, yeah.
And how long can the stud be a stud? You said the
Well,
3rd
let's say
year's a
if I'm 6, you know, I've seen them go till like they're 20.
That is so awesome. That is so
Like,
awesome. You have to pay.
life.
Yo,
The life.
that's wild.
You have to pay. Do you have to tax every stud fee? I mean,
tax it.
Yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah, but
That's like that's zero.
you're
work.
not zero work, and you just get a teaser horse for him, so he gets the other mares all prepared. And
How would you like to
A
be
fluffer?
the teaser?
A
I
fluffer?
wouldn't want to be
oh,
the
that's
teaser.
the worst thing in the world. Do you know what a teaser horse
to
is?
get him up and
And
running.
usually they're small pony horses. Those guys, you know, they're
believe
the
that-
ones that really get the mare going.
In
you know?
adult entertainment, they call that a fluffer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, you know what? It's like the guy at the bar who's been giving her drinks the whole time. Like, hey, yeah, and then you just go in and say, hey, how you doing? And
Okay.
then,
Get her,
So
she's all warmed up, and then she goes and sees the stud. You know, the
Watch
guy with the superior bloodlines, right? Oh God.
Is there a lot of inbred horses?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't like to do that too much.
Yeah.
You know, the missing links and stuff.
yeah,
I
well,
do
it
that.
just messes your bloodline up so
Yeah.
crazy. I couldn't even imagine.
Now, is there like a famous horse that we've heard of that is pretty inbred that it's kind of like a secret or?
No,
Like Secretariat?
No. You know, I've seen some horses that are bred like under the third bloodline, and I really couldn't tell you who those would be.
Right.
You know, I wouldn't know.
I'm going to be a bleeding heart liberal for a second.
Oh,
Just for a second.
Why,
Can
Jack?
I
Don't,
leave the room?
Jack.
Can I leave
Jack,
the?
this
for a
is the
second.
worst
Wait, you
person.
didn't tell-
No,
you
I
didn't
didn't
tell me this.
I didn't tell.
You
I
didn't
didn't
tell me?
Jack. I didn't tell him.
I'm
Jack.
walking out.
No, but I'm sure you have an opinion on this.
Why, Jack?
Well, I do.
No,
Pony-
Jack.
Ponies dying, especially at Santa Anita.
Who?
Horses just dying on the track.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
Why-
if you're gonna be liberal about that, okay.
That's
Let's
not
not
it.
talk about
oh,
that.
this is from like 2 years ago when
Right.
that whole thing.
When it was like every
Yeah.
week there was a horse dying out there.
Yeah, it was the track. It was the track surface.
Okay. So
They
that was
tried-
human error, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it was track surface, but then there was also you've got some crappy trainers out there too, guys that are running these horses, and they got them on a lot of butte, and that's what the industry's trying to do. They're trying to cut the butte out, get that
Butte is like a painkiller.
painkiller,
Mm.
kind of get that out. You're trying to get, the problem is that, it's like with everything, there's always some cheaters and some,
People
you got-
pushing it.
we have it in basketball, right? We
right.
got that. We got it in farming, people that are cutting edges to do something. It's wherever you go, there's always and when you're talking about money and trying to make money, especially on the lower end,
Right.
these guys are going to do some stuff. They call them I mean, they were, the cartels were using that frog juice stuff to, it was
What?
They were using this frog juice stuff in the cartels in the quarter horse business, and they were juicing. It was like,
That's that when they get them all stocky and thick?
Oh, they get all just jacked.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, they found this stuff because you you give it to somebody that could climb the Andes Mountains, it's
So
crazy
Bob
stuff.
Bob Baffert
He
juice.
never used that.
Okay.
I don't think he did.
Right.
No,
Okay.
that stuff, but it wasn't untestable in certain places, but they were using it. That was in the quarter horse. These horses were jumping out of their skin, basically, right? So they were using that, and there's steroids they've gotten rid of pretty much, but then there's other stuff that they try to mask. I mean, that kind of stuff was done, and they were running horses that, their wheels were coming off, basically. It's like a car. The wheels are going to come off, and they shouldn't have been running them. But there's so much money. You got the owners that are crying, run, 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 because their bills are so high. That's
Trying to get a
there's a lot of
return.
pressure. Yeah, trying to get a return on the investment or whatever. So that'll happen. But the track surface at Santa Anita was a big problem, and they never addressed it. And that's what really upset.
Dirt.
The surface of, that they're running on. And they had a really poor track manager, I think, and that's one of the biggest reasons.
It was going on all summer long. It was crazy.
Yeah,
there was like talks of like shutting the whole thing down, right?
Yeah, but then you got PETA coming out, and see, they don't.
I was just about to ask.
About those people that don't have a thing about. They don't care about animals like people, like cowboys. I mean, we care about our animals.
Oh, 100%.
And these people could care less about it. I think they just want the
fame.
The fame. They want them out there in nature to go out and die on their own, basically out in the.
Well, people don't realize. Here's the thing: people don't realize with these horses, they're having a real massive Mustang problem in Nevada, and the people
wild Mustangs cruising around, just being bad boys.
And the ranchers are having an issue because the Mustangs are eating all the shrubs and everything that the wild cattle or their cattle are grazing on. So it's the BLM project is it's a real big deal, and Pete is all in
BLM.
Oh, Bureau of Land Management.
There you go. There
I know
you
my
go.
stuff.
How do we just keep teetering on this politics stuff?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's Carl brings that in.
I did what?
Carl's eyes lit up. When
I know.
I thought that was a segue for
I know.
for Mac on that one. And he was lit up there on that one, yeah.
No, but it's a big deal. But I was wondering if PETA does PETA, are they outside all the derbies?
Yeah, they're around. Yeah. But that's still, the Derby is like so big. It's always going to be there, I think.
It can never go. Well, here's the thing. Everyone wants to gamble. This guy, what? Jack, he can't help himself every week. He's gambling.
Well, guess what? During the pandemic.
Responsibly, I gamble.
There was, the racetracks kept it going. They kind of made a shell within themselves.
Right.
And they kept running where there was no other, source spending because there's a lot of online betting now. So people were gambling. I saw the handle, I think for the Derby or something, or one of these races, was bigger than the on-site handle ever. So people were, during this pandemic, people were day trading stocks, but they were also playing the track because that was it.
The only thing going on.
That was it.
Yeah.
And so it's where the racetrack industry has been kind of going downhill for a lot of years. There's been a lot of controversy and nobody really gets together, but this is their opportunity to really come together and really put the show on and get people out there. So, because I went to Emerald Downs just the other day, place was packed.
Do you think Spokane needs one?
Oh, it would have been great if Playfair was still here.
That was the dog track, right?
No, they had a racetrack. They closed it down in like 2002 or something. They had a racetrack.
Really? Where was it?
Playfair Industrial Park right there.
Really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
I knew the dog park in Post Falls.
Yeah, no, they had
There was a whoa dog park.
Yeah, no.
There was a Greyhound.
No more dog parks.
Oh, yeah.
There was right when you get right by Cabela's.
Yep.
On the border, there was that
the Greyhound Park.
That's the most Post Falls thing I've ever heard of.
What?
Yeah. Having a dog park, having a dog racetrack.
They did.
Yeah, I would be fine watching some dogs.
So why is dog racing immoral?
I think it's what happens after.
They just get rid of the dogs.
I don't know what happens. They make great pets, they say.
Santa's little helper, The Simpsons.
They did. They
Simpsons.
they brought them back into the. I don't know, but there's There's no.
Is that
more
like a
dog racing.
thing? They just stopped dog.
I know it's like that's really a
I think
moral.
they have them. Well, they have
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're done. They're gone.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're the last one. I think was in Tampa.
Oh, so they're gone completely
out of the
off
United
the-
States, but they still have them. I think in possibly Mexico or.
Oh,
some
Oh,
other state.
yeah, well, we knew that,
you know.
but like, I didn't know they took dog racing out of the whole picture.
I think it's gone. Yeah,
I would. I mean, just for the experience.
Yo,
I'd love
dogs?
to check
Don't
out.
they?
It was
With
a
the
lot
little
of fun.
the rabbit deal going around.
There goes
I
the
just think
rabbit.
I think of Looney Tunes with the rabbit. I think it was Pepe Le Pew, and he just fell in love with the rabbit, and he just kept jumping on it and kept getting shocked. The whole-
Pepe Le Pew's canceled now.
I-
Did you know that?
I'm getting him tattooed
Yeah,
on me.
Good
He's
for you.
canceled too?
He's canceled.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause
Cancel
he's-
culture.
oh.
Pepe Le Pew is a little rapey. He is a
Was
little.
But here's the thing, man. Pepe Le Pew had that French swagger. I loved it.
Yeah.
He was something different.
You know the thing I was thinking about the other day is remember Hogan's Heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no way that show would go.
Oh, I
on.
watched
dude.
Blazing Saddles not too long ago.
That was like that couldn't be shown.
Oh, the Blazing Saddles could not be made at this point in
I
time.
know.
Movies 10 years ago, Tropic Thunder can be made.
Yeah.
Right.
Tropic Thunder.
Oh yeah.
That movie's 13 years
right.
old.
Yeah,
Blackface.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
No, Blazing. Jack, have you seen Blazing Saddles?
I bits and pieces.
No, you need
I'm
to
embarrassed.
watch. No, you need to watch that.
I
movie.
watched it with Mike Lyons. You know.
Oh man.
And we another great supporter
Yep.
of the team, and we laughed our.
It's
asses off.
a phenomenal, and it's so groundbreaking, especially at that time, but especially it would be even more groundbreaking at this point in time.
Oh yeah.
I think it's an awesome groundbreaking movie. It just
Why not?
yeah, it makes
all
fun of
this
it.
stuff.
Yeah, it breaks all of it. It keeps everything light, but it shows racism, but it makes fun of it at the same time. And I know that's some people get offended, but at the same time, we gotta laugh at ourselves, man.
Right.
This is coming from a white dude. So take
here
it with
we
a
go.
grain
Let
of
me
salt.
Let me drink this beer real quick.
But I do think humor is the best way to combat any kind of social
absolutely.
discourse.
100%.
Social,
How can you even be
issue.
a comedian right now?
yeah.
I feel bad for them.
I do too. I don't know how they could do it. I mean, because that's what you laugh at yourself.
Oh man, I'm a joke.
I mean, did you see that? Have you seen that video that Chris Rock did about the getting pulled over by the police? Have you seen that one?
no,
It's
no.
classic, but it's so true. I mean, it
Yeah.
was great.
I'll check
You know,
it out.
Obey the law.
Yeah,
I mean, you got to see that. It's
yeah,
great
I'll
on
check it
YouTube.
out for sure.
It's really fun.
No, it's just a weird time, but at the same time, all we can do is just enjoy the ponies.
Enjoy the ponies. I did a little bit of research on you, Carl.
Oh no.
I texted one Josh Cox
Oh god.
and asked what kind of information. He said ponies and whiskey. We've
Oh, yeah.
we've tackled the ponies.
Oh no, I
Brown
had
stuff.
some whiskey and some cigars with this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, we like our bourbon.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you rank your top 3 bourbons?
Yes.
Okay.
The best one that I've tasted right now, it's made by Willett, and they're in Bardstown, and I think it's called Noah's Sign. I'll have to look it up.
I know Jefferson's for me.
Jefferson's is very good. Willett, Double Barrel Woodford,
Okay.
the best.
Oh,
Okay.
Carl comes back from Kentucky all the time.
Okay.
And brings.
I'm bringing bottles back next week.
How about
See, I told you, I know.
Because you don't pay a 20% tax like you do here.
Oh, I'm not poking that bear, Carl. I'm
Well,
not poking that
good,
bear.
I'm glad
bear's
you're
I'm
on.
poked.
not.
the bear's been impaled?
Yeah.
It's awful.
Um,
How do you do that?
Is Poppy Van Winkle as good as everyone makes it out to be?
I think it's overpriced,
Okay.
personally.
Well,
They
they've
make that
they've
at-
figured out the exclusivity thing, like because it's never
Oh yeah,
available,
because
right?
well, what happened? The whole story about that Pappy Van Winkle is somebody on the inside took a truckload of Pappy Van Winkle, and they've never found it during this 1 year, and so it was like short supply. So now they have security. They had no security. It was an inside
Yeah.
job. They took all the Pappy Van Winkle for this 1 year out of the Buffalo Trace, because Buffalo Trace is a big. If you ever go to Kentucky or Lexington, and that's what we were going to do.
Yeah.
We would have gone to Buffalo Trace, and that's what. Oh, you know what? The other third bourbon is Blanton's.
Wayne's.
They make that at Buffalo Trace. I think that's a really good one. But yeah, it's
So you had Van Winkle.
I've had it, but it's you got to pay. It's so expensive.
The second market, they're like it's like $1,000 a bottle.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Right there. Yeah.
I always try to find good value in something, and you can get this. No, I'm going to get the name.
Have you ever had Louis the 13th?
No.
How much in your mind? And I'll ask you this too, Rob.
Yeah.
How much better is bourbon than Scotch? Because
I can't do Scotch.
I can't. I don't know if I can tell the difference.
Scotch is too peaty for me.
What's peaty mean?
Peaty. It has like such a. It just. I like
it's just dry. Your mouth is dry.
I like a bourbon that's nice and smooth, and then it has some legs to it. And has a really good taste after that.
And it's American.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all. Yeah. Well,
yeah,
you know the thing about.
Why are you doing this, Jack? Why are you doing this? No, Scotch. Have you found a Scotch? My grandmother used to drink Scotch and water.
I mean, yeah, like Dewar's and stuff, right?
Right.
I've never.
Wait, Dewar's is Irish.
I've never done Scotch.
Dewar's is Northern Ireland. What's a Scotch example?
I'm a Scotch drinker.
Okay.
Like I've never had the. Now Fred, our good friend Fred Brown he loves Chivas.
Yeah,
18.
I know.
That's his favorite.
I have it in my.
He drinks that all the time. But I've got him onto this Willet bourbon, and he loves it.
I can't.
I just can't.
The Chivas, I'm like, oh
yeah, it's
man,
just too strong.
It is. It makes you blind.
What's your favorite Canadian whiskey?
Ooh,
Pendleton.
Is Pendleton Canadian?
I think it is.
I think it's from Oregon.
I thought it was Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, could be. I thought it was. It is. You're right.
Yeah.
Pendleton. I thought
stupid.
Pendleton. My neighbor Tan Man got me on to Pendleton, and I've been just drinking Pendleton that's been my drink all year now.
Not a Canadian mist.
Nah, man. You know what? It was funny. First time I actually ordered a drink in when I was 21 here in a bar. Let's just say I was.
You were 21-ish.
Yeah. Let's just say that in Spokane, I asked for a rye and Coke, and they're like, "You're Canadian, aren't you?"
Oh, that's a question I want to ask Carl.
Okay.
What? Okay, so Jack and Daniels, you're allowed to mix with Coke, right?
Yeah.
Coke.
You do
not
not
much
Coke.
higher than that.
No, don't put any Coke. You have it on the rocks.
What,
Or
rye?
Any bourbon, really good bourbon.
Oh,
But
no,
Jack is okay, right? I can mix a Jack and Coke.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I wouldn't any level higher of whiskey than that, and I would be laughed out of the bar, out of
Yes.
your bar.
Yes.
Okay.
Ugh, Jack. Well, no. Crown. You can do
Crown and Coke. Yeah, you can
Crown
do
and
that.
Coke. I'll do Crown and Coke.
Or you could do, old grandpa or something like
Yeah,
that.
the
You could do
well
that.
stuff, sure.
The well stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
I can't do Jack. Jack's terrible. Jack and
You
Daniel.
don't like Jack?
Jack is terrible. And that's all I could find in Japan.
Jameson?
Oh, yeah.
Jameson.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Jameson's the best. I like that.
I met a friend at a hotel bar. I met a friend at it was an hourly rate kind of hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kidding. I met at an airport bar.
You know what those are called
what
in
was that?
Japan?
Airport bar.
You know what those are called in Japan?
What's that?
Love hotels.
Oh, gotcha. We hit the ATM, if you know what I mean.
Oh God. I'm 65. So
So he actually turned me on to this. We were drinking bourbon. It was probably just Jack or something. It wasn't anything too classy. But he ordered us a couple of backs of Brennan, what's the alcohol you turned me on to the other day across the street from my hotel?
Oh,
Cider. A back of cider. Have you ever had bourbon and cider?
No.
It goes down real. I knew you were gonna kind of look at me that way.
But I have had it's called a it's kind of like the take on with the copper. What's that copper? They call it a bourbon mule.
Oh,
those are tasty.
they're not like they're like Moscow mules, but
but they're with the ginger and they are smooth. You got to try one of those.
I will.
Mule. Oh, they're good. Order one. And you could use just a simple, like a bullet.
Yeah,
makes a really good
Bullet.
rye.
Yeah, can't
really
go wrong
good.
with bullet.
Yeah.
Back to that, I guess. Your thoughts on mint juleps? Overrated?
They're awful.
Yeah, I'm with you.
They don't taste very good.
Mint juleps, not for me.
What are they?
Old fashions are better.
They're the drink of the Kentucky Derby. They're the mint.
The mint julep.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
They're awful.
I'd have a Budweiser in my hand.
No.
I can feel myself getting closer and closer to vomit every time I sip a mint julep. Maybe when I was in college, I puked on it one time and I just can't remember.
Yeah, you can't do, yeah.
But you know how like circling alcohol?
I did that. You know what? You ever heard of Black Velvet?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. There's a song
when I got
after
sick
it.
on it.
Yeah.
Oh God, I can never look at that stuff or taste it.
Mine's anything Jaeger. What's that? Zambuca. Any of that? That was a bad high school.
Licorice kind of stuff.
Yeah, bad high school experience.
Granbuy or something.
Yeah,
like that.
Zambuca, I think it's called.
Yes.
Hey, let's go into our parents' cabinet and grab whatever's clear, and we took it, and
I got 2.
from then on, I've never been able to taste that.
I did remember that bourbon that I like.
What's
It's
that?
called Noah's Mill.
Noah's Mill.
Noah's Mill, and that's probably going to be the next Pappy. I think it's going to be like that, and it's only like $48. You could get it.
There you go.
I'm going to do a plug.
So you're saying
Wine and more, you can
buy
it.
a bunch and hold on to them.
Oh yeah, I would.
I
Really?
can't.
But it's hard to hold on to bourbon.
No, well, because
You gotta drink it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was out
With
there.
a cigar.
I was out there at the ranch with a cigar.
right.
Oh man,
Exactly.
that's
It's the best.
before we go, man, because I can't believe it's almost been an hour.
It's been an hour. Yeah, it's crazy.
Before we go, I always meet Carl at this ranch, our buddy's ranch, Fred, and cigars and some good old bourbon. That's what it's all about. And we just shoot
At
shit.
5 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, we got.
Well, maybe.
10,
It depends.
10:30.
If it's a weekend, it's
We
up
can
for
do
grabs.
that.
Or a holiday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's just you shoot the shit, talk about what's going on in the world, drink some whiskey, and just have that man time.
Man.
Guys need man time.
Man stuff.
That's right.
You damn right.
We have a good time doing it too.
Oh,
It's like,
dude, you have no idea.
Having a good cigar is so relaxing.
Oh.
I never used to smoke cigars. But I just find it so enjoyable now.
Oh
that,
man,
you know,
and then you just talk shit. That's what it's all
that's
about.
right.
You know,
Talk about the world.
Yeah.
And we talk about our next investment.
talk to me.
Right?
Speaking of, before
Yeah.
we let you go, Carl, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Sure.
Can I offer this up for a possible horse name?
You sure can.
Chet Holmgren.
Oh, I like that.
Well, we'd have to get his permission.
Oh, name and likeness. Ooh.
Good call.
You'd have to cut him in. Maybe that's too expensive.
Or we just call him Holmgren.
Or the unicorn.
The unicorn.
Yeah.
The-
A horse named unicorn. would be
what
cool.
about Chet?
Chet? Yeah, can't claim that.
Yeah, he can't claim that.
Checkmate. Or checkmate.
Chetmate.
Oh, there we go. I'm
It's
loving
fun
it.
coming up with names.
I can. Oh,
We can have a naming party,
buddy,
right?
my imagination. We can definitely do some things.
Carl,
Exactly.
Final Four, are you going to be in New Orleans this year?
Oh, yeah, I would miss it.
Were you in Indy?
Huh?
Were you in Indy?
Oh, yes, sir.
Oh, right on.
Yes, I
Right
was there.
Oh,
Just sad
Carl
deal.
doesn't miss a game.
Yeah.
And Carl
Oh,
will
is that right?
tell the refs how he feels too.
I did. Well, I have never. Have I been that way?
Oh, come on, Carl. You're the most vocal guy. I love it. I love it. That's
I
what-
remember this one time with Father Hightower was on the
Bench.
side, on the bench, and we used to go to those like San Francisco and the Gales games.
Yeah,
The fans were awful,
right. We all
and
know.
this was before they had security there, and the fans would come up and start yelling at the guys, just giving them shit.
During
I mean,
timeouts, yeah.
"Oh, you're a
Yeah.
fucker, and you're
Yeah.
this. I mean, right?
Right.
But now that's why they take the team off the court.
The benches,
But they
yeah.
would come up, and I remember this one guy came up and just was blasting him, and then the guy was we had just pretty much won. There's like a minute left in the game. This guy was walking back, and he said some shit, and I was sitting on the front row, and I just stuck my foot out, and I tripped that son of a bitch. It was great. And Father Hightower looked at me. He looked at me, and he did the absolve. He absolved me right there. He said, "Yeah,
power of
do
grace
it."
compels you.
Woo,
Woo!
woo.
Yeah, hot
I'm done.
damn,
Thank
boy.
you.
Oh man,
Carl Grether, ladies and gentlemen.
Carl
Thank you so
Grether,
much for your
thank you
time.
so much for your time,
Hey,
man.
thanks
We
a lot for having me. I
appreciate you,
appreciate
man.
it. You guys are great.
Oh
All right.
man,
Thanks.
awesome.
Take care.